Happiness can come through three things. Number one is enjoyment. Enjoyment is pleasure with people and good memories. And satisfaction. Satisfaction that you achieve something after real struggle, some difficulties, some hardships. And number three, that you have meaning in your life. You have bigger purpose in your life. And you every day invest in these four things: your faith, your family, your real friends, and your workplace, your work, your job you do. And happiness really is not a philosophy, it's a physiology. So I said 50% from genetics, 25% from the circumstances you live in, and 25% from the habits that we have. I was reading one book, Build the Life You Want, The Art and Science of Getting Happier. Very famous book by the professor of Harvard University, Arthur C. Brooks. And I was very impressed with the presentation and the book itself. And we as a Muslim, not just Muslim, every human being, we are in pursuit of happiness, everlasting happiness. Because we know if we are at the station of happiness, it changes the paradigm of life. We look at everything in a different way. When you are happy, everything around you is according to how you want it, what you wanted. You have more concentration in your ibadah. You enjoy the life. So happiness is a treasure of a moment. Moment is the one who should be the happiest person on this planet. And happiness really is not a philosophy. It's a physiology. Science is knowing the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the simplest definition of science. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our body has created a system that if we follow the guidance given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then our body can reach that station of happiness. So happiness is not really a destiny. Happiness is actually a journey. The direction you choose for yourself. Happiness is not about pleasure. Pleasure is an animal instinct. As a human being, we want enjoyment. So inshallah, in today's khutbah, my goal is, in next 20-25 minutes, that I want to give you a prescription. And if we all follow that prescription, you will see a difference in your life. You will enjoy every moment of your life, my brothers and my sisters. There are three macro ingredients of happiness. Number one is enjoyment. Number two is satisfaction. And number three, my brothers and my sisters, is that we have meaning in our life. So number one is enjoyment, number two is satisfaction, and number three is meaning. Let me define you what is enjoyment. Enjoyment is pleasure. If pleasure has people in your life and good memories, that becomes enjoyment. If you are just by yourself, no matter where you are, you may have pleasure of something for few seconds, for few minutes, for few hours, or few days. If you don't have people in that pleasure will disappear soon. But if you have in that pleasure some people around you, your family, your friends, your beloved ones, and you have good memories of that experience, that will convert into enjoyment. Second thing for happiness, the second macro ingredient is satisfaction. Definition of satisfaction is if you achieve something after you have gone through some difficulty, some hardship, and after that difficulty and hardship, if you achieve something, that gives you satisfaction. You know, one of the professor, he was saying, my father told me, why people are not happy these days? Look at the answer. He says, because people eat dinner when they are not hungry. That means until and unless you are deprived and you suffer, you will not enjoy that. If somebody tells you that you will have no dinner today, and you struggle to get your dinner, then you will really enjoy your dinner. Our problem is that we are getting things without much struggle, without much effort, without much suffering. And that is the case, for our kids as well. Because they take everything for granted, that's why they don't acknowledge, they don't appreciate what they get, because there is no struggle, there is no suffering. So that is the second thing that I want you to understand is satisfaction. Third is meaning. Until and unless in life you have bigger purpose, bigger goal in life, this life will have no meaning for you. If you set some small task for yourself, those small tasks will not bring everlasting enjoyment in your life. If you go through the human history, human psychology, people who set higher goals, little troubles in life don't bother them because their eyes are focused on a bigger goal. People who have very little tunnel vision and they set their goal, very little goals, little suffering, little disturbance in their life will shatter them. They will fall apart. So having a bigger meaning in life is another ingredient of happiness, my brothers and my sisters. In life, if you divide happiness, 50% of our happiness is through our genetics. If I am born in a family that I am getting sadness, negative mind, negative thought process through my mom, through my father, 50% of happiness comes through the genetics. But the good news is, if you are not lucky enough to get good genes from your parents, science tells us today that we can overcome that hurdle, we can overcome that deficiency through our struggle. So 50% through genetics, 25% is circumstantial. Your circumstances. You have good husband, you have good wife, you have good family, you have good friends, you live in a good community. People who are surrounding you, the circumstances surrounding you, 25% of the happiness comes from your circumstances. Rest of the 25% comes from our habits. If I have a habit that I wake up early morning, if I have a habit, good practices, I am very health conscious, I am very good in my time management, I am a pupil person, and I deal with people in a very good way, in an excellent way. My manners, my etiquettes, my morals, my values are good. That can give me good habit. My practices are good because practice makes your habits. So 25% of our happiness come through our habits, our good habits. So I said 50% from genetics, 25% from the circumstances you live in, and 25% from the habits that we have. The focus of my khutbah is the next thing that I'm about to share with you. He says there are 4 pillars of happiness. 4 pillars of happiness. Number 1 is faith. He is a Roman Catholic. He is the one who is saying it. The number 1 condition to have happiness is faith. And I'll explain you what is the meaning of faith. Number 2 is your family. Number 3, your friends. And number 4, your work. And let me open each one of that. You know, as a human being, we all want to overcome this weakness of us, which we call narcissism. You will not achieve happiness if you always stay in the air. That, oh, I am the biggest. I am the most intelligent. I am the one who knows everything. Until you stay in that station that I am the best, you will not be able to achieve the station of happiness. God has put in our very nature that we have to humble ourselves in front of something. Humbleness, putting ourselves down, bowing down in front of something, it is in our very nature. So the people who humble themselves in front of God, they make God their final authority. That could only be brought in our life through faith. And he talks about, faith. We teach our kids faith when it's too late. Teach your kids about faith from very early age. What is the way to teach your kids about faith from the very early age? He talks about, my father was a professor. And he was the most respected person in the community. I have never seen him bowing down in front of anybody. I have always seen him like in his highest esteem. But on Sunday, I have always witnessed that he is on his knees. From the very early age, I acknowledge this thing that my father, who is a professor, who is a very high-ranking person in the community, he never surrenders in front of anybody, but there is something every Sunday makes him to go on his knees. That memory had given me something from very beginning of my life, that there is something which is bigger than my father. That my father has to put himself on his knees every Sunday. So he says, if the most powerful person in your family, if he practices deen in front of his child, you don't have to utter a single word. You don't have to say anything. This will go through vibrations and waves to your child. There is an entity. There is a deity. There is somebody who is above my father, who is above this most powerful person in my community, in my family. So the point here is teaching deen through our actions, and if deen is in our life, that will be the first ingredient, my brothers and my sisters, to bring happiness in our life. The second thing is family. These days, people are running away from family. They don't want to get married. If they get married, they don't want to have child. Wife and child, they bring the true happiness if you have the foundation right. If you have the right mindset. Who else can bring happiness in your life if your family system is in the right place? Wallahi, if your family is what it should be, your heart is always at home. It doesn't matter where you are. You may be enjoying life in your journey for your vacation. You may be at work, but your heart is always in your home, because Your wife and your kids are the biggest source of happiness in your life. So family, having a strong family, having good relationship with your wife with husband and kids, that is the second key to have true and everlasting happiness in our life. The third thing is your friends. And he talks about there are two types of friends. One are we call real friend, R, not Republican, okay, R, real friends. And the second one is D, not Democrat, dealing friends. Real friends and dealing and transactional friends. There are some friends in your life that you want to have their friendship because you want to get some benefits from them. You want to raise your status, some financial gains, something you want to achieve in your life through them. He's saying, I'm not talking about those friends, transactional and dealing friends. I'm talking about the real friends, and real friends are useless. They are useless. From worldly perspective, from the worldly dictionary, they are useless. They are not worthless, but they are useless. They cannot add anything in your life, but they are the real source of happiness in your life. Wallahi, I remember that story of one of the pharmaceutical company owner. I may have shared it with you before. That he found that everybody around him, even his immediate family, they all were selfish people. They were just trying to get benefit from him. And he got depressed, bad depression. Then he goes to his old village one day and he finds his old buddies, and they will talk to him in a very casual way. There are no formalities. There is no mask on their face. They will address him very natural way with his nickname. He says, as soon as I reached to my village and as I saw my old buddy that we used to spend good time in our old young age, my depression was gone. All anxiety was gone. So having friends, because that is your really psychotherapy. That having some friends who are sincere to you, their eyes are not on your status. Their eyes are not on your pocket. Their eyes are not to gain any worldly benefit from you. They are your true friends. And wallahi, in these days, having such friends is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us such friends. They are honest to us, they are sincere to us, and they are really true friends for us. The fourth thing which he talks about is your work. Number one, I said faith. Number two, I said family. Number three, I said friends, the true friends. Number four is your workplace. If your workplace has two things, that workplace will bring happiness in your life. Number one, if that work can add any value in your life, if that work can make you grow, if that work can make you a better person, if that work can make you a better human being, if that work is adding value in your life, that is the first condition of a work which can give happiness to you. And the second condition is, my brothers and my sisters, that you are adding value in somebody's life through that work. You know, in our body, there are two types of neurotransmitters. One is dopamine and one is serotonin. Dopamine is for immediate happiness, for pleasure. You want a car, you get car. As soon as you get car, that dopamine goes down. You want another car now. You want a house, you get that house. You get your dopamine high. As soon as you get the house, inshallah, next khutbah, that will be my topic, inshallah, next Friday. That what Allah and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said about the realities of life, science today is proving everything. And for next Friday khutbah, I have chosen few things that I will share with you. What Prophet has said 1400 years ago and Quran has said, now science is reminding us that whatever the Prophet and Quran has said was the truth. And one of the things, my brothers and my sisters, science tells us today that dopamine is not that what you are looking for. The thing which you are looking for is serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter which is given when you do something for somebody. This is the neurotransmitter which is long lasting, which can give you long lasting happiness. This can be increased in your body when you are helping somebody, when you are giving shoulder to somebody, when you are showing sympathy or empathy to somebody. When you are there for somebody when he or she needs you, that can bring the true happiness. There is another study from Harvard University, they give two kids some dollars. And they say to one of them that you spend this money just on yourself. And the second person was advised, spend that money on somebody else but you. And both came back. And the level of satisfaction, level of happiness, person who was really enjoying what he did with that money, the person who had spent that money on others, his level was uncomparable. There was no comparison between the two. So work, if that work is adding value in your life, and you are adding value in the life of somebody, that work will bring happiness in our life. When I said one thing in the beginning of my khutbah, that there are three macro ingredients of happiness. And I said to you, enjoyment, satisfaction, and meaning. Meaning means you have purpose in life. You have bigger goal in life. There are two questions that each one of us should ask ourselves. And that will determine what really is the goal and purpose of my life is. If purpose of my life is just to have bread and butter for my family, is just to have a little car or big house, then that means that I am not really in the right direction. And these two questions will reflect, will give us a mirror that each one of us can see ourselves, that really where I am standing. The number one question is, why I am alive? What is my reason for existence? What goal I have in my life for that I should live? I should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me more life. And the second question is, what I will be willing to die for today. That I am willing to give my life for something, what that could be. The reason of living and reason that I will give my life. If we can ask these questions, those things can determine if my goal is tunnel vision or do I have a bigger goal in my life. I will conclude, my khutbah, my brothers and my sisters, we all in pursuit of happiness, everlasting happiness. Happiness can come through three things. Number one is enjoyment. Enjoyment is pleasure with people and good memories. And satisfaction. Satisfaction that you achieve something after real struggle, some difficulty, some hardships. And number three, that you have meaning in your life. You have bigger purpose in your life. And you every day invest in these four things. Your faith, your family, your real friends, and your workplace, your work, your job you do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we can enjoy every second of our life. And we can keep our focus that from this dunya, when I will go, inshallah, I will go as a happy Muslim, as a happy human being, so I can be successful in front of my Rabbul Alameen.